Hey, what's going on, guys? This is Dean here today with Burn 1. And now we are finally off of the terrible Pants Choice Rupee. Thank God. You know, after 2 losses, I scooped him up. You better believe. But now I'm back in the tournament. This is my EU run for Bro. I am on Don Machi. List handed to me by my good friend. What was your...
What? Just silence? What
Well,
kit?
well, I was trying to remember because you had this one name that they named you in one of the regionals on one
Oh,
of the.
Nick. They called
No,
me
it
Nick.
wasn't Nick. That was a new one.
Oh, Kit Kang? That
Kit
one?
Kang. Wasn't
Yeah.
it Kang?
Yeah.
Yeah, you Kit Kang. Yeah, my good friend Kit Kang. He gave me this list, and
Yeah.
I actually made a point to not play this deck. I guess we'll start the video at the same time. So first round, I am against 8 choice Revengers. Don't ask what it does. I don't know either. I think it had like the slime top end.
Don't worry. I don't know what it does either, so you're good.
I think it had the slime top end, but only if it had a 2-1 out.
I remember looking at the cards, and it's like you can have like it like makes it so you have like a crazy amount of choices in your deck,
Oh,
but
I
then at
don't
the
think
same
I
time,
don't think he played that.
oh really?
Yeah,
Okay.
he played some other cards.
Yeah,
I think
but
there was
at the
another
same
choice
time,
list.
there's not a lot of targets for choice whenever I see that list, so it's such a weird deck.
Yeah, it's like one of those things is like that's a weird deck. Oh yeah, look at how insane this is. He plays down the Mikey that stalks, brainstorms turn 1, hits
Hits.
2.
Oh, what 2? Oh my god, that's a plus.
I think we're gonna see in a second. I think I pull out my phone and immediately start messaging you guys. I think I was like, oh my god. Uh because that thing is a sinker too. It's like the Rudy. It
Yeah,
sinks
it's not as good
and
because it
it's
isn't bottom deck, and right
right,
now
right.
like
Sorry, it's
removing
yeah, it's a Rudy.
removing things moving things to the bottom deck or like some other zone is like more powerful right now than just normal sinker.
Dude, at that point when he hit 2 on the brainstorm, I cannot win this game. He is so strong. Oh yeah, but so in this tournament, something that will be a little bit interesting to see is I have been pretty low in Weiss. I'm gonna be honest, but I got these Don Machi cards in, and I kept saying, like I've I'm like I don't think you need that many games on a deck to play it. So this is my first game ever with these cards, and I have never read any of them.
Oh, wait, really?
Yes, I
You
purposely
literally just leave the list that I gave you and not read the
did
cards?
not read the
Powerful.
cards. Really, no.
Oh yeah, didn't you say your opponent had to tell you what some of your cards do?
Yeah, at the end of round 3, a guy looks at this card that like mills 3 on play, and he goes, "You forgot to stun my card," and I'm like, "I didn't know that was a line of text."
Oh my god.
So thankfully, yeah, that right now this is the pre-buff version. It doesn't stun cards on play. It, I mean, so it's something I've argued a little bit. I don't know how you feel about it so much. I've Some people disagree with it. I mean, like I know when you're newer, right? Like if you're newer, you don't play the game a lot. Definitely, like right, play games, read your cards. But at a certain point, like you just look at a card and you go search brainstorm, and like everything is just kind of the same.
Yeah, pretty much. You get like when you've played the game long enough, you read the cards in the deck and you know exactly how the deck should be played, unless it's like some weird combination of stuff happening.
Yeah, and it's like it's
You
not like things are. It's not like Yu-Gi-Oh where you have to do like a long combo chain, right? It's like I go, okay, this bell bounces another card back to hand, so I just attack with my brainstorm and I get to bounce it back. It's
yeah.
like it takes half a second to realize that.
Yeah, you can
Um,
read like lines of text like that and you'd be like, okay, I could play more aggressive at 0 because of these pluses and stuff like that. Yeah.
yeah, so that's kind of like how I tackled this. But like, look at this. He only has 2 attackers, and of course, I'm gonna scoop him up because that's what the deck does. And brainstorm is pretty important. And then we see that clock actually being a heal 2, secretly being a heal 6, 5, 5. And Don Machi is like, I think if you played Goblin Slayer, right? I feel like Don Machi is pretty much like you know how to play Don Machi at that point.
Yeah, pretty much for the most part. It like has the same kind of combo. The only difference is like it definitely breaks board every time usually, as long as you're not like putting like three of your swords in the clock or whatever it is.
Right. Fire bolts. The sword actually does nothing
Oh
except
yeah,
for
yeah,
hit grab.
firebolts, yeah. Like the one advantage of Danmachi is just you have incredible deck control because you have so many milling cards and like you can choose how many cards you mill with like almost every card.
I don't know. I felt
Hmm.
awkward at times because of the way that the torch worked and like the zones that cards go to, right? Top check 4 would be good if my bells weren't always in the grave. So like I after playing this deck a bit, I do think it's a lot less strong than what I was told.
I guess like it's just like in my opinion, it's like a really solid like tier two, like top like near the top of tier two. It just consistently does the same thing every game.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, it
But
doesn't
it's
feel bad, but I'm saying like compared to like Goblin Slayer, I feel like this deck is actually a lot worse. Like relative, like when Goblin Slayer came out and you were playing Gate Standby, yeah, like way back when, right?
yeah.
I feel like that was a much like stronger deck into the meta than this one. This one like breaks the board of like 2 standby decks, and then other than that is okay with like everything else, right?
Yeah, I think maybe it's just the timing it came out in English. It was much better in JP when it came out,
Oh,
like
I
for
see
that
what that
meta.
is. So because I'm on my laptop, and I guess this is something weird that OBS is doing because it's recording my screen.
Mhm.
Um, when this is freezing, what I assume is happening is I'm pulling up my opponent's list.
Oh, okay, okay. That
Yeah,
makes sense. Yeah.
because I don't know. This was open deck list, so of course, right? There's gonna be times that I have to go like, oh, what is this? Where is this?
Yeah, I know it does that if you tab out of it, or not tab out of it, but like minimize it, which you might have been doing.
Yeah, we see him refresh a climax. Very unfortunate. You know, he only attacked twice at one. Clocks or refreshes a climax. I'm able to present this like Ricky in the or the JC thing in the middle, so I'm able to bounce back a bell. See, that's what I like. I think the problem is like I think I am almost forced to do that play, and maybe I'm wrong, but like when I play this deck, I've got these torches that grab random cards off the top of my deck. Maybe I don't want to mill
Mhm.
yet. Maybe I want to hold the torches. Um, my brainstorm searches. It doesn't salvage. The torch is the equivalent of a search, right? It's like search top
Yeah.
four. So how do I get any card that goes to grave? Well, the 1/1 event, but the 1/1 event's not searchable. It's like you kind of just have to randomly have it.
Yeah, it's if you play the deck a little bit more, you get used to like holding certain events or not trying not to use them when you don't have to.
Yeah,
And then a lot of times you are forced into positions like this when you can do this where you like double combo and like have the
yeah.
bell that bounces the two cards back to
That
hand. So
that part's fine. I'm just saying like there's usually like a point, like a 1 or 2 turns after this, where like if you were playing against a deck like Kana Tamarian, right? Like 1 or 2 turns
mhm.
after this, suddenly you go, I stop being able to like present even close to a board, and then like your 500 power cards are your attackers all of a sudden.
Yeah, in a weird way. There it's like you have to extend a little bit more than you want to like break boards that are like behind a counter or like 14k or higher in multiple lanes, you know. You do definitely have to overextend in those scenarios, and if you don't, then you're kind of like, well, I'm just running crap into these characters until I get to level 3, then I can start killing things.
Which I think is fine. I mean, like I always think that those plays are fine.
Hmm.
Uh, I always felt like a hard thing was getting the knives out of hand at times. Like there were times that I'm like on like an okay deck state, but like I might have like a bell, but I've got like 4 knives in hand, and I go, wow, how do I get rid of those?
Yeah, sometimes you're just forced to use it because like your hand is like you said, just four knives, and you're like, well, my deck state is pretty good, but I don't really have good playables here.
And then you play down it, and it's like event, climax. You go, damn.
Yeah, one thing worth considering to play is that PR card with like hasty as sleeping. You can exchange an event for a different event.
Oh
It
yeah,
might make
the new
those
one.
yeah, it might make those scenarios a little much better.
I think it would make the board breaking a lot better because it turns the knife into the plus 4K, and then like from there it turns into selective salvage. So
Yeah.
it's the equivalent of playing down a drop salvage that takes up a board slot, which is a little bit. I mean, it's normal drop salvage, right?
Yeah.
So yeah, that's like probably actually worth including. Shop challenge, not a shop challenge, just a locals PR. So it costs literally nothing. Just go to your store, you can get it, upgrade the deck.
How do you feel about playing these turns out though? Sometimes I feel like Danmachi turns take for a long time because you have to count everything and see where everything is all the time.
Do you?
I think in some scenarios, yeah. I think a lot of times you can just like quick play through everything.
I never really. The only thing I ever had to really count was the firebolt. I mean, there's not really a whole lot else going on. There's like the 1-1 event sometimes as well if you decide to use the back row card to like try to plus.
Oh yeah, yeah, that as well. Along with like sometimes I check to see if I play an event here and I draw, is there a chance for me to drawing a certain event or something I want in my deck? So I don't know how often you like look at
Um,
the draw one ditch one after using an event.
well, I use the draw one ditch one as like a hand filter and a deck speed tool. But I don't like trying. I mean, at times I'll do, but like I don't like making a play off of the. Well, this is untrue. This is actually 100% untrue.
All
I'm
right.
trying to think about
Did
how
you
to like.
just cheat here?
Did I just cheat? Wait, what?
Did you draw and ditch one off Hestia from the knife?
Yeah.
Oh, it only activates once per turn.
Yeah.
So if you already
And
played an event, then you
That should
can't
have been
do
my
it.
only time.
well, no, you used the 1/1 event to grab a belt earlier this turn, right?
I forget if I asked my. I think I might have asked my opponent that. Oh, by the way, we have a new commentator, the AO champion.
Oh yeah.
AO champion, top 8 Houston.
Fresh lettuce, or maybe it's cabbage.
It's
Yeah.
cabbage.
I know.
What is wrong? God damn it, Dean.
um. Yeah. Yeah, I think I asked, and I think he said, "Yeah." I don't know because like I've only seen like the Persona one. I'm like I'm pretty sure this only activates once, but we'll see.
Just for anyone that's wondering, like if you already used the event that turn, you can't use Hestia's draw one ditch one anymore.
Yeah. Part of the reason I got a double game loss in Houston was because of that.
Oh,
My opponent drew, and it took an extra 5 minutes to judge to fix it, and we didn't get a time extension.
double trigger Dean Classic. I just refreshed. But my opponent is eating damage because Weiss, sometimes it doesn't matter. You may double trigger, you may triple trigger. You can just eat 8, but sometimes your opponent eats 10. And that's how the game be. I don't know, like playing the knife down for something that isn't critical, right? If it's like, oh well, I could knife to hope to draw this event that there's 2 of in this 20 card deck, I'm probably not gonna do it. If it's like the payoff is like the chance to force a counter out of my opponent on like a Kanata Marine board or something, right? Or on like a Kanata board. But if it's like, oh man, I really need to dig for a climax or Hest, you better believe I am going to do the strangest plays I can to try to maximize that.
now that Hanson here. Do you even know what this 8 choice list does for TRV?
I do.
Yeah, so like the level 1 combo is kind of like the Delco tree combo you kind of top check and add to.
Oh yeah, you do.
And then the finisher is like the choice line finisher. You just like,
But you have to have a 2-1 on the
Oh,
board.
yeah,
You have to have a 2-1
but
that my opponent did not find.
it's like, well, it works similarly, I guess.
I think I'm still level 2.
you
Well, it
are.
looks like you
What an
are, yeah.
insane deck. Which was oh well, I got a little confused for a second there too, because you see my opponent's on the top 4 Cardcaptor Sakura mat, which is what I was using in the previous tournament. However, I switched to the Shadowverse mat to be closer to my roots.
Shadowverse.
Yeah. I don't know why it took me this long into the video to realize my opponent's got a pretty nice play mat. You know, we own that too. Repping the English exclusives. Now, see, though, these are the kind of decks I play, where you slam 2 shitters and a healer, going back to my Kimono Fred roots. Oh, and this is where he tells me this card is on attack instead of not on play, and I go, okay. By the way, how do you feel about the Danmachi list that only play one of the Bell Healer? Because I felt like that card put in so much work. I felt like that was the best card in the entire list.
I really like the Bell Healer, so that's why I play it as a 2 of. But I can see it being as like a 1 of.
I mean,
I
does
don't
the
know.
other list play like other early plays, or is that just like,
I think the
They
other list only plays that early play, right?
or they
I
some
see.
people have been playing the Ions.
I don't care for the Ions. I don't think it does enough.
It cracks
I
a
mean,
Kanata Marian board, which is what's important.
oh, that makes sense. Yeah.
What is this? What am I grabbing? What am I grabbing with my selective salvage? A Bell? Interesting choice.
What? So you can play over your stuff and combo again.
No.
Well, which you
I
chose to not
Was it
do.
to be bigger than his card? I think it was to be bigger than his card. I think my powers are
Mhm.
like garbage right now, right? It's like 9k, so I had to do that to be 13k
Yeah.
I
to be
see.
able to
I
kill.
mean,
I think that's his finisher, right?
so you did salvage a door last turn, right? Or you just like trying to save it here or something?
Oh, I may have salvaged a door last turn, but it might not be in my hand anymore.
Oh, okay. I must have missed where you ditched
I
it.
put down
Probably. Oh,
double of this Hestia that mills 3 and then ditches.
that's could be true.
So I might have just not had the bell. Or maybe I like said, I don't like overplaying cards and I have a 6-card hand. And my opponent is just eating damage, so maybe I don't have a lot that I have to do.
Hmm.
The only
I
card that
mean,
I never
yeah.
played the entire time I played this list was that bell that top checks X on play. That card
It's,
never sees an appearance and has never seen an
hmm,
appearance in my like 3 or 5 other games with the deck.
I was just
Really?
wondering if you overplayed your belt there, you probably could have like also contested the 1-0 combo, right?
Oh, my opponent is like 3-5 and I am 2-3.
I mean, that's true. Just as a general
Like,
thought, I guess.
yeah, I mean, like, the Weiss is a funny game where, like, at a certain point, you just like ignore your opponent and just kind of like fishbowl and wait for the game to end.
I mean, yeah, it is kind of weird. Like,
Like, if it was like a more close game,
also, did our opponent also just cheat there because isn't Hina sack a character to heal?
well, I don't know what Revenger cards do, so yes, it would seem that he did use it as a stock healer, which I will not blame him because I don't know what my deck does either.
True.
Two people who don't know what their decks do playing each other. Powerful.
Well, Okay, I know what my deck does at this point, right? Like I've seen the cards. I do like that the bell marker's a card because I love marker compression. I think it's sick.
I
That's
know you
basically
love
a 3/1.
markers. Oh man.
Wow. And at this point, I don't have to do anything, right? Like I got to
Yeah,
deal
you
like
just
2
sit
to 3
you sit
damage.
there and like attack 3 times and you win the game, essentially.
I'm probably thinking, how do I get my healer back? Healer is the strongest card in the deck. I probably should have tapped the other guy first. It seems that he would have found the
Probably.
event. Oh, but I don't think I had any events engraved, so like he would have only seen one card.
One. And was it in the top card?
It was the top card. However, maybe
you don't play that way, yeah.
I don't play. Okay, that was 8 clean. What am I doing here? Why am I ditching? Am I thinking about the draw ditch? Oh, did I think it was like ditch draw? I thought it was ditch draw. It's fine. Reminder, this tournament was at like 4 a.m. for me, so it was a little rough.
Did you just come off of AU also?
Well, after AO, I was like, man, what is wrong with me? Why am I playing Pants Choice Ruby in a regional thing? And so I went on a 2-hour walk to find myself, to get in the right headspace. So I've been up for a while, but I feel like I was in a much better headspace this tournament.
Much better deck too.
It's not hard to be a much better deck actually. Most decks I have in sleeves are actually surprisingly better than the AO deck. It's funny the amount of anti-synergy. No, this is insane. I have triple bell, climax. That's why we sandbagged the last turn. That's why I didn't care last turn. And you know what? Sometimes your opponent just dies. So, yeah. That was game 1. Learning the deck. Do you think I did anything horribly wrong? Was there any play that you felt like was wrong other than
not reading your
Hestia?
cards?
Well,
yeah.
Well, no, I mean, other than that, like, was there anything that was actually like wrong? Like,
I mean, I guess that's the last salvage. Why did you salvage an early play instead of your finisher? Do you think you can like get another turn or 2 or something? Or
I don't remember what my hand was.
okay.
I think
just have 3 finishers
so.
in hand.
Well, so there is if I was thinking, I don't know how many finishers were in hand, but I had triple knife in hand. If we look at the clock, what's the clock like? There's a Hestia and clock. I don't know what's in my hand. If I have even like single or double Hestia in hand, probably have single or double. I don't know which one. If I get to level 3, I play 4 copies of my finisher and a lot of ways to find it. If I am still at level 2, I play 2 copies of my early play and less ways to find it, right? Because, I mean, it's with a 4 of the knife becomes like almost like, right? If I play down 3 knives, I should theoretically see 1 to 2 of it.
Yeah.
And then I have the
I
draw
guess
ditch.
it's also that you're at like 2-5 and there's like almost no way you still stay at 2 the next turn, right? I don't know what the rest of your deck was.
Nor do I.
Okay.
It doesn't matter because you won. No.
Yeah, the
Sure.
game. Yeah. That's like, if I was without remembering, because this was like, what was this, 2 weeks ago now? This was the past. Usually with something like that, right? If I have 1 to 2 copies of finisher, I have a lot of top checks. I'll usually grab something for if I'm still at the same level, right? Because like usually when I sculpt, I'll go for like not all of my finisher, but like enough
Mhm.
of my finisher that I won't feel bad, but then also try to pivot for like have options, right?
Yeah, yeah, that makes sense. That's a general
Yeah, to be fair,
guideline.
usually when I'm playing Danmachi, by this point, I already have 3 Hastias in my hand. So like there's nothing worth like looking for at that point. But yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, so that's it for this one. Join us next time. We got round two.
See you later.